Okay, welcome. We are chatting all about content. I know so many people send me messages and they get so overwhelmed. Like, what do I do on Instagram? What do I do on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook? So I'm putting together this presentation for you to help you actually break down the structure to make at least 30 days of content. If you want to do 60, 90, you can do that too. This is the structure that really works for me, but I do have to emphasize I need you to be a little bit flexible when you're building your content, and it will take a little bit of trial and error. You need to know what works for you. You need to know how you can schedule and how you can incorporate your inspiration into building your 30 days of content. So here we go. Okay, the first thing that I really need you to consider before you even talk about content is you need to get really clear on all of these questions with regards to your audience. I need you to know, who are you speaking to? And I'll often ask this to people and they'll say, oh, everyone who, let's say they're in fitness. And they're like, oh, everyone who wants to be healthy. It's not good enough. You have to get in the head of your client. You need to get in their minds. And where that will come up is I need you to know their pain points, their challenges, what's keeping them up at night, what are they Googling, what do they want their life to look like? These are really important questions to be able to answer. So what I want you to do, go through these questions here, and I want you to write a list. I want you to write a list of all the pain points and challenges and all the desires and goals. And then I want you to also consider, what are they Googling? What are the results they want? What are their current objections to your product, your service, your offering? What are 5 to 10 things that your target demographic needs to hear over and over and over? And what are 5 questions that you're often asked? What are the top 5 questions that people ask you that always want to get answered? Now, I always talk about this, and I want to make sure that you're not guessing. I want you to take an attempt at this, but also ask your community. Ask your community in actual surveys. Get on SurveyMonkey or Google Drive and create a survey, and or use polls and questions and discussions in Facebook, Instagram, stories, feed. Start really communicating and knowing who you're talking to and what their current challenges are. This is the only way you're going to be able to build content that actually resonates with who you're talking to and who you want to buy your product or your service. Okay, so know this is your first step to building content, because once you have those lists, the content's easy. This is the hardest part, trust me, okay? So then we're going to go to your story. I want you to have fun with this, and I want you to write out your story. What is your story? What are your defining moments in your life? How did you get here? What have you been through? What did you learn? What tools and techniques did you implement to get through the tough times? What are things that you don't want people to know, that you're embarrassed by? You know, bankruptcy, miscarriages. What are things that are taboo to talk about that make you relatable? Because people are all going through that stuff. And until we start talking about it, it is going to continue to be taboo. So I want you to answer all these questions on a sheet of paper and really get clear on your story. Have you been in a situation that is similar to your current clients? This is going to help build that know, like, and trust factor that you'll have and continue to build with your client. So tell them your story, tell them who you are, tell them what you're going through, and it'll also help them relate and trust you to buy a product and service from you. So you can go through all these questions and just know your story. Now you're going to see why this is important when we actually build your content. Your story is going to help you to communicate, is going to help you to sell, and is going to help you to connect to your end consumer. Okay, I then want you to think about, what is the purpose of your social media? Do you want to entertain, inspire, educate, build that know, like, and trust factor? get your end consumer results, and or give them a call to action, which is CTA. So you want to get them to register or purchase something. What is the purpose of your social media? Chances are it's going to be a mixture of most of these things. Build that know, like, and trust factor. So tell them your story and what's going on in your life. You're going to educate them by giving them tips. The tips are going to help get them results quick. You want to inspire them, motivation, mindset, that sort of thing. And you also want to entertain. So you'll notice, depending on your brand, you may lean more towards one or another, and that's okay. Here again, trial and error. I want you to practice all of them so that you see, where do you get the most engagement? What kind of content do people like, so that you can continue building and adapting? I want you to be super flexible with social media. This should be fun. So remember to have fun while you're doing it. And when you have all of these topics and know your purpose, then we can get into planning. And I'm going to show you that. So when planning your social media content, I want you to consider, what platforms are you planning for? Are you planning for Facebook, blog, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, your newsletters, and or your automations? Automations are when people sign up for a download or a freebie, and then they get a series of emails. Knowing what platform you're building a strategy for is really useful, but the beginning part still stays the same. You need to know who you're talking to and what your story is and the purpose of the content. Then we can tailor it to the platform. The beautiful thing here is I want you to repurpose. Your Facebook Live can also be a video on Instagram, can also be your reel, can be put on TikTok. Your content that you write in your live or your feed video can be turned into a blog post. You can also turn that into a newsletter, and you can turn the themes into your automations. So if you don't know what some of these things are, let me know, ask me, and we can chat more about it. But I want you to know what you're working on. This part can also be a little overwhelming. Don't feel like you have to do it all. Start with one, repurpose, and go from there. If you're going to start, I also want you to look at who your target demographic is and where they sit and spend most of their time. Are they on Pinterest the most? So if you're looking at women, probably around the age of 30, they're on Pinterest. Instagram is also pretty good. TikTok runs a little bit younger. Twitter is great for more information, news outlets, that sort of thing. So depending on your content, Twitter might be great for that as well. Your blogs, LinkedIn, if your clients are hanging out on LinkedIn, go there. Facebook, we can repurpose. So if you start on Instagram, you can repurpose on TikTok, and you can repurpose on Facebook. That's kind of where I spend most of my time, but that continues to evolve and grow. Okay, we're getting into the scheduling part now. So once you know who you're talking to, you know your story, we can start actually scheduling. So Planoly and Later are scheduling apps. There are free versions, so you can actually schedule your posts, and they'll all post when they need to post. Depending if you have the free or the paid version, it will just change what kind of content you can post. So video versus pictures. The free versions don't always allow you to post video at the current time. As well, they're going to limit how much pre-planning you can do. So the free versions, I think, are about 15 to 30 posts, when the paid versions, you can get a lot more scheduling going. Trello is actually basically an online calendar. So that's not going to automatically post on your platforms, but it can be easy for you to schedule your post. Okay. You can also do the pen and paper method. That's kind of what I do. I'm a little old school that way. So I'll pull out a calendar and then I'll plan, and I'll show you how I plan that. So here we go. So that's what I do. I get a big calendar and I plan on each day. I'm going to show you what I do. So I look at my I look at my pain points, my challenges. So I go back to my audience and I pick different themes that I want to talk about. Once I have my themes from my pain points list and my challenges and desires, then I can start to weave in, and I'm going to show you the actual structure I use. Now, here's another thing to consider. When you are planning your calendar, are you going to do it all in one day? How many hours will it take you? So I would always recommend to do like activities together. So pick all of your themes at the same time. Put them on your dates at the same time. Then expand them and do your written content and your written blurbs at the same time. And then do all of your pictures and your visuals at the same time. Same when you're taking photos and or recording videos, do them all at the same time. It makes it a lot easier, and then you only have to do your makeup once if you want to put makeup on when you're doing your recordings. Okay, so once you have your calendar, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty right now. I want you to think about important dates. Do you have any offers, launches, or are there any holidays or things that are happening in the world that you need to consider? So for example, at the time I'm filming this video, it's Cyber Monday. So you're going to want to put Cyber Monday, Black Friday, any holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, because your themes should be pertaining to what's going on in the world. That's when, remember in the beginning, I said you have to get in your client's head. What are they going through at that time? And I'm going to get even deeper into that and share with you on each day what they might be thinking. So I want you to put your holidays first on this calendar. Any launches or products that you want to offer, put those dates in too. And then we're going to continue to fill it. So start generic, start with your big calendar on Trello or on any of those planning apps or just pen and paper. Write these things out first. Then, here, I had to emphasize one more time, we have to get into their head. So on any day of the week, what are they thinking? On a Monday versus a Friday, they're in very different headspace, right? So oftentimes I'll see people promoting things, let's say on a Saturday morning, that may not fit what their clients are actually thinking or doing at that time. So make sure to get in their heads. I'm going to do your breakdown now. So Mondays. On Mondays, they may be into motivation. They may be feeling depressed. They don't want to go to work. They might need that extra push, that extra oomph that says, go out there, get it. I know you can do this. Or, maybe you're hating your job. Here's a solution for you. Get in their head. What are they thinking on Monday? You'll notice here, almost every last point is call to action. You got to give a strong call to action. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to comment, DM you, register for something? Really start engaging and training your community to engage with you so that you can continue to build that relationship with them and ultimately provide results and sales for you and the customer. Tuesdays are a great day to teach. Show transformations, give valuable content, give tips so that they can be seeing results in their everyday life. When you give tips, they're going to be thinking, wow, if Vivian can give me this tip in 15 seconds or in a minute, imagine what she could do with me one-on-one. People get scared to provide value on social media. In my opinion, and what I've been taught by my mentors, is you can never give too much value. This is how you build the know, like, and trust factor. And you want people to see results. You want people to know that you know your stuff and that they can trust you and that you're the person to help them. If you're always saying, oh, buy this and you'll get to see, they don't know what kind of information you give or where your headspace is at and if you're the right fit for them. So give value, provide content. Ask them how you can help them. Okay, Wednesday is also a great teaching day. Give a success story, a testimonial, social proof that what you do works and that you can help other people. So show screenshots, show results, give tips, give value, provide more education as to how people got the results that they did through your system and through working with you. Again, good call to action. Thursdays. People are starting to get a little bit more social on Thursdays, right? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, great days and times to start to get a little bit more personal. Pull in your story. Tell them what you wish you knew when you were younger. You'll see that a lot of these questions we already answered in the beginning when we talked about your story and knowing your audience. So tell them to send in questions that they want answered, give recognition and praise to your community, to your clients. And here's a note is when people do DM you, don't be afraid to send video responses and make sure you are responding to people that are engaging with you, because that's how you can continue to build community and engagement within your business. Okay, Friday, right? Friday, people are starting to check out. They're getting into the weekend. They are wanting to travel. They're wanting to do something social. And again, during this video, it is during quarantine, COVID. So some of these things might change. That's why it's important to get into your client's head. So on a Friday, they might be thinking, don't you wish you were social? Here are some fun at-home activities to still be social, or here are some fun Zoom activities to do. So get in the head of your client. I will say that many more times before this presentation is over. So Friday, they're thinking about freedom, their dream life. Paint the picture of what they could have when working with you. Show success stories, your own or other people. Really continue to help them to feel, help them to paint the picture, to feel the emotion of what they want their life to look like. This is really going into that dream life, their desires and goals. Challenge them to try something new, to do something this weekend, and again, give a good call to action. Okay, Saturday, Sundays, we can have a little bit more fun, right? This is really good time to be personal, to show them into your life. I wrote celebrity. Here's a good time to also share different situations that you've had with potentially famous people, famous clients, celebrities. It helps to elevate your status. It's kind of like that blue check mark on Instagram, right? People will trust you more if you have a blue check mark, and you're trying to build that blue check mark, that PR, that status, so that people know that you're an expert, that they can trust you, that you know your shit, okay? So that's the manufactured celebrity here, and giving still a call to action. Okay, Sunday, raw and real. Sundays are self-love days. They're when you can talk about love, care, forgiveness. Doesn't mean that you can't talk about it the other days of the week, but remember, getting in their head. On Sundays, I find that people are either relaxing or they're getting amped up for the next day, Monday. So you can prep them either way. So lately, I've been doing mantras to use for every week. So give people tips that they can use. Something to consider when planning your content is you want content, and again, this is always changing because the algorithms are always changing, but you want content that people will share and save. Right now, they're favoring sharing and saving over likes in the algorithms. This is always changing, so kind of stay up to date. Same within your stories. I've noticed that they're favoring stories that get more engagement. So if you can do more votes and you can do more polls in your stories, it's going to help you in the long run to get more engagement and connection with your community. Okay, so now that we have all of this, I want you to have it all in front of you when you're planning, right? So you're going to have your pain points and desires. You're going to have your story, and you're going to have your themes, obviously. And then you're going to think about, okay, what are they thinking every day of the week? Get in there and start writing out. I want you to write out on every day. Here's a theme I'm going to talk about. Here's what I'm going to talk about this day. And you can, if you want, every Monday you can talk about a similar thing, Tuesdays, that sort of structure. Or you can kind of go freehand and just pick all of your themes from your audience, pain points, desires, dreams, and then put them on the sheet, depending on where their headspace is at. Think about it. What are they thinking? Are there any holidays, that sort of thing, that I need to continue to leverage and make sure that I'm not missing anything? when I'm communicating with my audience. Make sense? Okay. Images, plan ahead. So once you have everything and all of your themes written out, I want you to build out the content, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I also want you to consider your images. Is this better as a video or a photo? Now there are so many different ways to communicate. Don't be scared to get on video. If we're talking on Instagram right now, there's actual video that you can post on your feed, which is under a minute. You have HGTV, which is over a minute, and you have your Reels, which is 15 seconds. On TikTok, you have your videos, which are 15 to 30 seconds. So I want you to really consider what's the best way to communicate this information, and then you can plan that way. Right, here's your structure. So when you're writing out the actual content and blurb in your post, you can use the same structure in your emails, in your blogs. This is going to help to build that connection and lead into a call to action. Here are some great breakdowns that you can use when describing the theme and talking to the theme. So let's do an example. Let's say at this point you have your calendar and all of your themes. So on Tuesday, you're going to talk about the importance of food and how you feel. Or let's go with that one. Or maybe anxiety and how it impacts your life. So what you're going to do, you can use this structure in any way. You're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. You're going to give them a tip. So you're going to say, here's 4 tips to alleviate everyday anxiety. Then you're going to say the pain point. Why does it matter? This is, let me think. Now I'm thinking on my feet, so I have to be in a different headspace. Okay, so then you're going to say something like, I know you're sitting at home procrastinating, doing that thing that really matters to you because your anxiety is holding you back. I know you're not putting yourself out there. I know that you're feeling like you're not good enough and you're really beating yourself down. These 4 tips are going to help you to feel more confident so that you can have your dream life. In that pain point part, I want them to say, wow, Amanda really gets me. This is me. I need to keep reading. Then you're going to give the tip. Then you're going to give a call to action. So that's one way to provide content. Another way is a myth or a truth. So here's the old way of planning your schedule. And this doesn't work because it is hustle, grind. It is not taking into consideration your mental state. And here's the new way to be more productive, to get more done in less time. And the reason it's important is because you'll get more done in less time, you'll make more revenue, and you're going to feel a lot better while doing it. And you're going to give the productivity tip, okay? A 5x5 matrix is another way that you can provide content. So what all this does is it's really trying to simplify social media for you, and so that you can really simplify your themes. So what I want you to consider, if you even take just one theme, anxiety, you can talk about anxiety in all 5 of these ways. You can talk about anxiety in your story. How has anxiety impacted your life? You can give a case study. How has anxiety affected your clients? What did you do to help them? You can give a fun fact. Anxiety impacts X amount percent of people in North America. You can do an overcoming myth, right? So a myth about anxiety, and you can give a celebrity example of a celebrity who's talked about how anxiety ruined or impacts their life. So you can see how once you have that list, going back to your audience and who are you talking to? What are their pain points? What are their desires? There's a million ways for you to provide that content. Don't think that you need new content every single day. I just showed you 5 ways to talk about anxiety. That can be 5 posts in a month just about anxiety. I want you to pick themes that are consistent with your brand, that are consistent about who you are, and that are consistent with the actual clients that you want to be working with and that you want to be interacting with your brand. And I say that because I don't want you talking about anxiety if you have nothing to do with anxiety and you can't even help anxiety. Does that make sense? It might be maybe one post when you're talking about your story, but then you always want to be tying it back to your brand and who you want to be making a call to action and who you want to be engaging with you and or ideally purchasing your product or service. A few other formats that you can use when writing your content for your social media: before and afters of you and or your clients. A blunt post. What is a blunt post? I do these almost every week. A blunt post is being very blunt of who you're asking to work with. So for example, one that I used last week was, I'm looking for 5 entrepreneurs who want to double their income and excuse me, and master a millionaire mind in the next 90 days. I will coach you and train you to your best results yet. Or I will coach you and train you to inner peace and financial freedom. DM me millionaire to see if you qualify. So that's like a blunt post. I'll actually put that out there. Who am I looking for? And then you'll see who comes forward. I usually get, at this point, when I'm making this video, 4 to 5 inquiries every time I do a blunt post. So if you have a good sales conversion rate, you can almost guarantee, 1 to 2 sales at least with every time you do a blunt post, assuming that your blunt post brings the right people to call to action. Just one second, I need a little bit of water. Okay, thank you. All right, so make sure again within your structure that you're considering daily themes, weekly themes, monthly themes, and that it's the appropriate format of that content. Okay, call to action. So we have talked about call to action in every single post and in every single format. Here are 3 points to hit in a really effective call to action. I'll first give you an ineffective call to action. An ineffective call to action might be, if this resonates with you, send me a message. It doesn't really give any information. It doesn't say what resonates with you. It doesn't tell them what to message you and why they should message you. So a really great call to action will tell them what are they getting? What is the offer? What do they need to do? How can they get it? How can they get a hold of you? What do they do next? Why is it important to them? Why should they do what you're telling them to do? And why do they need to act now? Either because there's a limited number or prices will increase, add some sort of urgency. So a really effective call to action is, and let's go back to the anxiety piece. If you feel like your anxiety is holding you back and you aren't feeling like your best self every day, there is something more. I need you to send me a DM me anxiety, so we can hop on a call, or I can send you some free resources so that I can help you on your journey, because I know you are made for more. I see you. I see your goals and your dreams, and I know you can get there, and I want to help you as much as I can. Do you see how clear I was? Who should message me? What they should message me? I actually said DM me anxiety because it lowers that barrier to entry. And I'm telling them what they can expect when they DM me. So don't get scared about your call to action. This is also going to make you better at sales. So often people kind of wuss out at the sales part when they're just saying, oh, if this resonates, send me a message. And it's just not strong enough. It won't bring people and encourage people to DM you. Again, you want people to look at your call to action and say, yes, this is me. I have to take action. I have to register for this. I have to buy this. I have to do this so that I can get those results and I can work with this person. Does that make sense? Examples of call to actions would be to sign up and apply for a one-on-one call, to register for a webinar or event, send you a DM with a specific word, tag a friend, tag multiple friends, comment below, vote if it's in a poll, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, save it. So now you can also be telling them, save this. If this resonates with you, you can come back later. Registering, I already mentioned that, and or downloading something if you have free resources. So there's many different call to actions that you can give. It doesn't have to be the same every single time. So vary it up when you're giving a call to action, depending on your day that you're planning. So the most important thing I want you to consider when building your content is to have fun. So let me quickly recap. Okay, so what you're gonna do, your first step, you need to know who you're talking to. Write out your list. What are their pain points, desires, dreams, goals, results? What are they Googling? Once you have that list, you can pull out themes, common themes that you want to talk about that you can bring into your planning. I want you to also get really clear on your story. This is going to be one way for you to talk about a theme a little bit later and to build that know, like, and trust factor. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get a calendar, whether it be virtual or written. And I want you to write out specific dates that are happening in the world. I want you to also know what themes you might be using on different days and or weeks or months. If you have a launch or you have something coming up, or let's say the holidays are coming up, the holiday theme might last a little bit longer. So be aware of different themes and be aware of the days of the week. Once you know that, you can actually write in what are the themes you're going to talk about, and then you can write the blurbs based on the examples I told you. So you can do the 4-step formula, you can use the myth and the truth, or you can use the 5x5 matrix and just take that theme and apply it in different ways. Okay? And then you're going to have fun, because I want you to show up authentically. When you're having fun, you're going to get more engagement, you're going to get more results, and it'll also show your personality. Don't be afraid to show your personality on social media. I want people to get to know you because I know they're going to love you, and give them something to love. Show them who you are, because it's like dating, right? It's the worst if a date doesn't work out and you were too shy to be yourself. But at least if you're yourself, then you know it's not going to work. Same thing goes for social media. You're just kind of dating virtually, and one person is usually dating a lot of people, depending on how many followers you have. But show them who you are. If they like you, great. If they don't, that's okay too. What they think of you is none of your business, and their opinion of you is a reflection of them, not you. So here's where you also might need to check your mindset. And if you're feeling scared and tentative to show up, that's when we start to need to get into the mindset shift so that you can start to show up as your most confident self. Because based on everything that we've gone through now, I know your story. I know you have messages to share, and I know you have people that you want to help, and I know there's people out there that need your help. So I need you to start showing up, getting out there, and actually helping people, because I know that's what you want. So if it's what you want, go get it. And if it isn't, that's okay too. But don't let your fear get in the way of you showing up and getting your dream life. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to get on a free one-on-one strategy call with people that watch my workshops, that are engaging. I truly want to help you. And I also know that everyone's business is a little bit unique, so you might need a little bit more one-on-one time to figure out how to implement this strategy in your business. So message me on Instagram. I am Vanessa O. Just message me strategy, and I'll know to give you a free one-on-one strategy session and that you are part of this call. You can also email me at iamvanessao@gmail.com. And in case you don't already know, I think most people that end up watching these and coming on are already part of the membership platform. But for $20 a month, I do bi-weekly live trainings like this. And we also do Q&A, and I have a library of over 100 videos and different interviews with experts, professionals, celebrities. So you can get in there, figure out everything that you need to advance your mindset and your business. And then I also just launched a one-on-one course called Launch Your Power, and it's an online leadership course. So if you have more questions about that, let me know, and I can see if you're a good fit. But most importantly, Send me a DM on Instagram, DM me strategy, and we'll hop on a free strategy call. Okay. So I'm so thrilled that you're here and that you're taking this step to continue to improve your social media so you can help more people. All right. I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.